I look at Bill Belichick's lack of wisdom, and it's amazing. And I saw there's a New York Post story that came out yesterday about the $8 million real estate portfolio that Jordan Hudson has put together since meeting Bill Belichick. She just started buying property in 2023 and getting loans for property. And this is all spelled out in the New York Post. And Bill Belichick saying they met in 2021. My math is right. That's 4 years ago. And that makes her, if my math is correct, 20 at that time. And 4 years ago, Bill Belichick would have been 69. And he met a 20-year-old on a plane. And by 2023, she started acquiring real estate property that the New York Post is estimating now is like $8 million. And so I've thought about this, and I don't know. How many of you have ever seen the show Rescue Me? It's a great show starring Dennis Leary. It's about New York firefighters that have survived 9/11. And it's a bit of a comedy, it's a bit of a drama, it's a bit of a soap opera. It's an amazing show. And on the show Rescue Me, Dennis Leary's the star character, but they have a lieutenant in the fire department at their firehouse named, they call him Lou for lieutenant. I believe his name is Kenny Shea, but they called him Lou Shea. Lou Shea is a mid-50s firefighter or early 50s or late 40s firefighter who gets involved with an escort named Candy, very attractive brunette. I don't know if Jordan Hudson is an escort, a pro. I do know she's a woman. She's a young woman that is taking advantage of a 73-year-old man who's in a full-blown life crisis because of his failure with dealing with the aftermath of Tom Brady leaving the New England Patriots. This man is incredibly insecure, and this woman is taking advantage of it. And men, we naively think, and we naively get away from a biblical worldview and think like, these women, they're so well-intentioned. Oh, there's no woman that would, we think we have the wicked spirit and the sneaky nature, and we're the true predators. And look, I don't want to demonize women, but the Bible makes it crystal clear that woman's nature that hasn't submitted to God and hasn't submitted to man, woman was made for man. Man needs to follow God, woman needs to follow man that's following God. Bill Belichick, as best we know, I'm not seeing him follow God. He's following behind a woman, a young woman, who has played him with her vagina and with her innocent, harmless nature. This is crazy. Someone needs to rescue Bill Belichick. You should watch the show Rescue Me. It's amazing. And season 2 and season 5 will help you understand what's going on with Bill Belichick. He's joined the New York Fire Department, and he's being made a fool of in real life. So, TJ, Steve Kim, welcome into the program. TJ, I'm going to start with you just because you've played for Bill Belichick for a short time. When you hear the $8 million in real estate and all these statements, and they got a personal and business relationship, what do you think?
I think he likely gave her a down payment. I mean, I read through this story. She's taking out big loans and all these things on a cheerleader salary, which you are not taking out one.
Oh, she's a cheerleader?
She was a cheerleader, yes. And at whatever place she was at previously. But yeah, she was a cheerleader. So on a cheerleader salary, whatever that would have been when you're 23, she showed up shortly after with a $75,000 vehicle to her cheerleading practices. And so obviously he bought that. But she's actually taking loans out. She took multiple. In December of 23 is when she bought all 3 of these places. $1.2 million loan, another $1.2 million loan, and then I think there's some cottage she was living in for $610,000. So obviously he's funding a lot of this, but she's on the hook for a lot of it too. I will tell you though, the whole story, much of what I expected, but there are two lines in here that tell you the real story, and that is this. Hudson was raised in Hancock, Maine, to parents who ran a fishing business that went bankrupt after their fishing grounds closed in 2000. Her mother eventually moved to Cape Cod, where she manages a sex toy shop and museum. What is a sex toy museum, Steve? Anybody ever been to a sex toy museum? What
I
is
actually
this?
have. No, I'm joking.
Okay, where did she get this idea? It's from her mother. Somebody taught her what to do. Her mother runs a sex toy shop and museum. Again, I didn't even know these things exist. And then groomed her to become a girlfriend of a guy who was making, according to this story, $25 million a year when he was with the Patriots, and he's now making $10 million a year. He's into his 70s, he's lonely and desperate, and she said, hey, here's how you could make a lot of money if you'd like.
She can't lose in this scenario. Steve, your thoughts here.
I'm just wondering, does that museum have like the first vibrator? Anyway, look, this is, well, it's a museum. I mean, anyway, it is, I'm just thinking about what's going on with Belichick. I've kind of done a little bit of a deep dive into this and the way the New England media is reacting. Jason, did you ever think that Coach Bill Belichick really needed Coach Greg Adams? I mean, this is sad, and there's something to be said about aging gracefully. I think the most overrated thing in life is being a cool old guy. Nah, age gracefully, know what your age is. And again, this relationship is not our business, but he's a public figure. It's become a story. It's our job to talk about it, and people that don't like it, you are free not to watch us, but you should. Now, it got me thinking yesterday, guys. I remember when Tom Landry got fired, and you talk about a biblical worldview, Jason. He got unceremoniously dumped. He got the call from Jerry Jones and this new guy by the name of Jimmy Johnson, like, your services are no longer needed. And the next day or two, Tom Landry was at his office cleaning everything out, just like any other middle manager getting kicked out of his cubicle, and he's got these boxes, and the news cameras are right in his face. And he's throwing all these old files, and he's joking, but the man was at peace. Like, you kind of knew, like, you know what, I'm good. It was my time's over anyway. But there was a certain grace about the way he handled it. And the way it's like, you know what, I'm not defined by being a football coach. I'm a man of God. I've got a family that I can go back to. And I look back at that now at my age, and I think, man, we all wish we could be as good a people or person as Tom Landry, because while his career did not end very well, they were 3-13, the grace that he showed, it was really admirable. It really was. And the American public, and especially around Dallas, rallied around Tom Landry saying, you're still our coach forever. I'm not so sure people have that viewpoint of Bill Belichick right now.
No, they don't. Nor, I do think people should be concerned, because I think what's transpiring with Belichick is relatable. And that's why, again, it was captured in the Rescue Me story, that, like, this stuff goes on. Men get themselves in positions, maybe there's no work, personal life balance, and then you start making irrational decisions in your personal life. It's certainly relatable to me.